clear. What can you say, cannot say? What can you send, what can't you send? When can you talk with regards to these two situations? So once again, we see that the ring is getting what? Smaller. Big, smaller, small, 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 like the Russian dolls. You take off one, take out another, take out a third, take out a fourth, and it continues, a smaller and smaller, more miniature doll, based off of the biggest doll that covered all of them. Everybody understand this? And this is how we study fiqh. This is how we study fiqh. The general asl, and then we branch off from the general asl. And we get more specific, and more finely tuned. Everybody got this within that ta'ala. So that's what we want to discuss now. And obviously, an issue like this is of utmost importance. If you have a daughter, utmost importance. If you have a son, utmost importance. What they can and cannot do when they're getting to know each other. What they can and cannot do with regards to engagement. Moving forward, it says here, Noor is not here. Type. One of the sisters volunteer, please. A sister read, please. We have a volunteer from the sisters. Any sisters wish to read and volunteer and give the benefit, inshallah. Right, back to the brothers, no problem. No. New sister, different sister. New sister, new volunteer. Bismillah.
Social media, Skype, Facebook, Muslim, what is that? Matrimonial sites, WhatsApp.
Social media. What you can and cannot do on social media. The Father knows me. He's approved of me. We've actually had what we talked about already. The sit down is done. We had the sit down. 2-3 sit downs. Or in between the sit downs. Or rather, Riyadh, before the sit down. Can I send the sister both Riyadhs? Can I send the sister my picture? Can she see my picture? Can we have a Skype call? Can we have a WhatsApp audio call? Can I join Muslima.com or Quran or any other website that is for Islamic dating or getting a wife? Can I join it? Many brothers, they're laughing. Allah, how many brothers as we speak have what? Accounts. And the hidden names.
Are you a Muslim?
Without the picture. Abdullah Abdurrahman. Looking for a good sister. My favorite book is the Quran. My favorite music is Islamic music. This is a reality. This is a reality. We're not saying this about the sisters. In most cases, most sisters, they'll probably be more open and more upfront. I'm looking for a husband. This is the best that I have. The wali felt me. The imam felt me. The sheikh felt me. The masjid felt me. I have to find a husband online now. But many brothers, they say, no, I don't have a Muslim. It's haram. It's haram to have a Muslim marriage. How many cuss they got, Akhi? How many they got? How many names? 3 or 4. Maybe an account in what? Each site. Everybody got this? Is this permissible? Is it a means of necessity? Is it okay if you do have an account to put your picture there? And if you do put your picture there, what can be seen? Based off of the previous rulings. Everybody understand this? WhatsApp, texting, chatting. Can you chat with a sister that you're not married to, but you have the intention of getting married? Can you chat without the permission of the wali? You guys had to sit down, that was at 8 p.m. Now it's 12 a.m. You're texting her, you're chatting with her, you're sending emojis and LOLs. Is that permissible or is that something that is impermissible? This is very important, and most people, they're doing this. A little or a lot. With regards to getting to know somebody, and also we are engaged. The wali has met me, he's approved of me. I can just talk to the sister whenever I want now. I can just call her on the phone whenever I want to. Or does it have to be under the constant supervision of the wali all of the time? Moving forward. Is it permissible to post my picture on Muslima.com? We mentioned that. Number 3.
Virtual sit-downs.
Virtual sit-downs. Not talking, not chatting, not texting. The first time, but it's virtual. With the wali or without the wali. You meet the sister on Quran, Muslima, Muslims in New York for marriage, whatever website you deal with, you get the number, you get her account, this is my Skype, this is my this, my that, and then we have a what? Not a physical sit down. I'm not making zina with the sister. I'm not touching the sister. I'm not necessarily secluded with the sister. But we're having an e-sit down, a virtual sit down. Obviously this did not exist what? In the past. You had to physically meet somebody unless you were doing sihr, unless you dealt with sorcery. In which you could be in Africa and travel to Indonesia in 5 minutes, if that. Or to talk through the wind. But in modern, current day era, You can be in one corner, one part of the world, and have a deep conversation with a person in another part of the world, easily. Is this permissible, or does it have to be the wali? Everybody got this? And if it is permissible, what can you and can I see in this virtual what? Sit down. Moving forward.
Conversing via social media with or without the permission of the wali.
As we just said. Moving forward.
Marital contract via Skype.
To get married, to do an aqd nikah on Skype. The sister lives in Malaysia. I live in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I never met her. I never met her father. We talked, we spoke. We had the virtual sit down, the e-sit down. We discussed our compatibility. This is the mahar. I'm going to get a flight and I'm going to go to Malaysia. But we want to do the marriage what? Before I get there. It is a valid marital contract. And if the contract in Islam is married, then also what about divorce? He finds out something that a sister, she has another account. And she's talking to other brothers on the website. He says, you're divorced. Can you divorce her via Skype? Or does it have to be physically in person? Everybody got this? And this is of utmost importance. Many people, they ask this question. Can I divorce my wife in a text message? Can I get a khula in a text message? Can I have a sit down on Skype? Can we get married on the phone? Everybody, listen, you have to know these rulings. Those who say that it is permissible to do this, they say the most important thing in Islam is إِلَّا أَتَكُونَ عَنْ تَرَاضٍ مِنْكُمْ. Allah says, don't eat each other's wealth, don't steal each other's wealth, don't oppress each other with regards to the wealth, unless there's tijara and taradid, that you're pleased. There's mutual consent. Everybody understand this? Is that you know what you're bearing witness to. وَهُمْ يَعْلَمُونَ. They know. إِلَّا مَنْ شَهِدَ. Those who bear witness to the truth, and they what? And they know. So what's important of the shahid, the witness, the contract, the buying, the selling, number one, is that a person has his consent. I was not forced to sell this. I was not forced to buy this. I was not forced to marry the sister. Number two, is you actually know who the person is. This is Fulan's voice. This is Fulan talking. I verified it. It's his voice, his picture, the time. However you verified it, it's the sister that I'm speaking with. This is actually her what? Her father I'm speaking with. This is actually the brother that you're speaking with. If all of the conditions are there, if all of the prerequisites are met, then why can't there be a virtual sit-down or a virtual marriage? Why not? Does Islam stick to rigid physical appearance? Does it have to be on a piece of paper, or can it be in a text message? There's no doubt a text message is like a letter. It's a letter. Someone writes a letter. Someone forges a letter. Someone stole my phone. Someone hacked my phone. Someone got the passcode to my phone. He sent out a message to a sister. The sister knows there's no way that Mufti wrote that message, because Mufti doesn't talk like that. He doesn't talk like that. He doesn't use that expression. He doesn't use those exclamation marks. That's not his style of writing. He doesn't laugh. He's serious. Isn't that? Someone else did that. Everybody doing this? Or the text message, the sister says, no doubt, this is Muhammad ibn Munir. This is his phone number. He keeps his phone with him. He doesn't lose his phone. This is how he talks normally. That's him pronouncing the divorce. That's him accepting the marriage. Everybody understand this? A text message is no different than a letter. And the condition of a letter being accepted is that it isn't forged. The person knows what he's signing, knows what he's agreeing to, knows what he's doing. Everybody understand this? So this is the way of looking, or the which of another, the outlook or the perspective of the ulama who say that it is permissible to do these things. And those of today, they say, no, you cannot do these things, because it's abundant lies and liars. People lie. People forge. People cheat. You cannot sit in front of the person, see their eyes, shake the brother's hand, physically sit and eat with them, feel the brother's vibe. So how can you marry your daughter to a man who's in another country, you don't know anything about him? He can have a major STI, major STD, he can have a major problem, criminal record. You don't know anything about him except for the information that he presented to you via text, via WhatsApp, via this website. Everybody understand this? So they say it is a means of you being reckless and irresponsible. It is a means of you not having the necessary ghayra, the jealousy over your daughter or your sister. You can't marry your brother to a brother who's living in a different state because you haven't met him. And the wali is supposed to be trustworthy, and he's supposed to be what? Strong. Qawi and amin. He's supposed to be physically strong, mentally strong, spiritually strong, and he's supposed to be trustworthy. He's supposed to have integrity. What strength is there? You don't even know what the brother's grip feels like. You didn't shake his hand. You met him on Skype. Everybody understand this? The cheating, let alone the other specific conditions that some of these fuqaha mentioned, why these types of contracts are haram. That which is clear, that which is apparent, and Allah knows best, is that if you're sure of the personality, you know who it is, you know what you're agreeing to, you know what you're signing up for, what you're letting go, then it's no different than writing a letter, and the letter is no different than meeting a person in person. Everybody understand this? With regards to virtual sit-downs, virtual marriages, virtual divorces. Moving forward.
Issues that seem modern day but are actually old and ancient.
Issues that seem to be modern day issues, but in actuality, they're not. And we spoke on this before, once in Minneapolis, Minnesota. Some people who haven't studied long enough, let alone studied at all, they say this is nazila fiqhiyya. This is a new issue. And we need new scholars. We need new type of understanding. But you haven't read the books of fiqh. You haven't studied the traditional classical works, in which those ulama, they talked about this scenario, this situation. Things that are weird and odd and peculiar. Things that are a bit sensitive. Things that are erotic. They spoke about those things in their books. But you didn't study long enough in Egypt. You're only there for 2 years. You can't cover all of that in 2 years. You didn't study long enough when you were in Saudi or Africa or in Yemen. You didn't study long enough. Let alone if you did, if you were there for some years, you weren't a researcher. You weren't strong. You didn't dig into the books. You didn't sit long enough and study long enough. So many fiqh issues we think are modern, but in actuality they're old and they're ancient. And you'll be shocked at some of the things that the fuqaha spoke about in their books. They're ulama of the past who wrote books on intimacy and intercourse. Detailed books. And you'll be shocked some of the things that you'll read in that book. And this scholar lived hundreds and hundreds of years ago. He wasn't in America. He wasn't in Canada. There was no such thing as internet pornography. There wasn't sex. This is an old book. And he talked about it in detail. So the immature student, the tadpoles, we say, he jumps out of the pond and he says, it's a modern day issue, so it has a different ruling. It's a modern day issue, so I can make ijtihad. It's a modern day issue, so kada and kada and kada and kada. And that's not true. A simple example of this is, what can you see from a sister? You marry a sister who comes from a traditional Islamic country or Muslim country and says, Sheikh, can I see the sister? Astaghfirullah, how can I see my daughter's hair? No one can see her hair until you marry her. You're nasty, you're lewd, you're rude, you're American. That's why you want to see her hair. In my country, we never ask this question. Muslims today are like this. They want to see a woman's hair before they marry her. This poor man, intellectually poor, he doesn't realize asking to see the woman's hair. And much more than that is what? It's qadim wa qadim wa qadim jiddan. It's very old. Everybody got this? And it's just one example from among many. Moving forward.
Ijtihad versus text and ijma.
Ijtihad versus text and ijma. There are hunak masail ijtihadiyya, in which there's no direct proof for or against. There's no ayah for or against. There's no hadith for the issue, everybody pay attention, or against the issue. It's based off of ijtihad. He thinks, he feels, a statement of a companion, a general principle, a general rule. And this alim, he exerts himself to determine a ruling. I feel, he says, a virtual marriage is haram. That is an issue of ijma or not consensus? No, there's no consensus. There are the ulama who say the opposite. That's the issue of text, nas. Qala Allah Ta'ala, Allah said, don't get married in Skype. Do we have text for that? No. That's the issue of what? Ijtihad, in which a scholar determines a ruling. So therefore, if it is an issue of ijtihad, then you cannot force that view upon the next individual, the next student of knowledge, the next layman. You can't do that. Rather, the ulama, they say, it is unlawful for a layman Muslim to enjoin the good and forbid the evil unless they know the dalil and how to use the dalil. They say it is impermissible for a layman to enjoin the good and forbid the evil unless he knows of the proof and how to use the proof. You can advise, you can do dawah, you can make nasiha, you can make tabligh, you can pass it on. I heard in the class, I saw in a lecture, I read in a book, I heard this. I don't think it's a good idea for you to do this. I don't think it's a good idea for you to smile. I don't think so. But I can't say it's haram to smile unless I know what? The proof and what? Wajhul istidlal. How to use the proof. Everybody got this? So getting married on Skype, talking to a sister on WhatsApp, acquainting yourself with the sister before the actual marriage, if it's based off of Quran and Sunnah, clear, that's one thing. If it's agreement of the scholars, then that's what? That's one thing. If it's ijtihad, then it's what?